the World Championship moves back to Europe for round 7, the penultimate round, the Catalunya Costa Brava Rally, based in Lloret del Mar. As can be expected on his home ground, it's an area full of science fever.
Carlos, good morning. Your home event. Are you feeling confident?
At the moment I'm feeling happy and confidence, normal confidence. I prefer wait and see how the stages are going and how the rest of the people is going.
For Sainz and the Subaru, the stages in the morning were going very well, thank you very much. Second overall on the opening leg, Sainz was on a roll. He needed to be though. This rally was critical to his World Championship chances, and this spin on the last stage of the day wasn't going to help. Rally 2 was critical for Colin McRae. He needed a good result, preferably a victory on his first visit to Spain.
I don't have the experience of the rest of the drivers here as to go as quick as possible, but obviously not to take any chances. Ideally, I would like to try and finish in the top 3 and in front of Juha for the points in the championship, but we'll have to wait to see what happens.
Colin McRae, always known for his spectacular driving style and bravery, was showing here a new maturity. Driving tidily and hard, he was quick enough to be 4th, but not too quick to take any risks. Meanwhile, Pierre Eliatti was again on the pace in the 3rd of the Subarus. 7th overall at the end of the opening leg. But it was Carlos Sainz 2nd with McRae 4th in the Subaru team, and the Scot was taking the battle to the Spaniard. But no one could do anything about the Toyota of the flying Finn, Juha Kankkunen.
Medium left, 30 long K right tightens hard. 70, open hairpin left.
The Finn is in inspired form to lead his first ever all-tarmac event.
Overnight leader, did you expect this?
Not really. I think I'm more as much surprised as you are as well, I think. But let's say it went very well today. I'm very happy about that.
In contrast, Didier Auriol was suffering handling problems in his Celica, but he's still quick enough to be 5th. But that's not quick enough for the driver who thinks he should be the tarmac expert in the Toyota team. The pressure was showing. Meanwhile, Armin Schwartz was fastest on the first special stage, but then he hit problems. A near-side front puncture robbed him of time. Time to get down and get under. Despite the pressure though, Schwartz was still smiling, still in 3rd place. Kankkunen 1st though, with Auriol down in 5th. Meanwhile in the Ford camp, Francois Delacour's miserable season continued, still struggling with the handling of the Escort as again he tried to get used to the new centre differential. Another driver showing the signs of the pressure. Meanwhile, his teammate Bruno Thierry, well, he was still smiling. But not for long, though. Despite the support from his Belgian fans who'd headed south for the occasion, Thierry's rally lasted only 4 miles. Ironically, a wheel bearing similar to that which put him out of the rally lead in Corsica.
We got a front hub problem. It would appear it's a batch material problem. We've changed the pair of front uprights on Francois' car for a different batch, and we hope now everything will be all right.
So, only one remaining Ford after the opening leg. Francois Delacour still in 6th. Fortune's not much better for the Mitsubishi team either. After their promising result in Australia, Tommy Mäkinen was struggling, down in 9th place. Brand new Lancer, obviously a handful, certainly hot on its brakes. Andrea Reghini, the tarmac specialist, been doing a lot of the development work on the new Mitsubishi. It's paying off for him. He's heading for 8th, despite the spin. It's early in the car's development program on tarmac, so 8th and 9th isn't too disappointing after the first leg. But the man at the head of the field after the first leg was none other than the flying Finn, Juha Kankkunen, surprising even himself by pulling 22 seconds ahead of the local hero, Carlos Sainz. Armin Schwartz, too, up in the front-running positions with his Toyota, ahead of Colin McRae's Subaru and Didier Auriol. On to day 2, and Kankkunen remains the man to beat, storming through the stages. Another string of fastest times thrilling the crowd, but Kankkunen was right on the edge.
30, crest along K left, also gravel ruts clear. 50, very long bad left. What bad?
A huge accident as the result of a misread pace note. Yet amazingly, Kankkunen and Grist, with the help of a few spectators, managed to get the Toyota back onto the road. Well, most of it at least. Somehow, Kankkunen got the car to the service area, but it was already obvious that the rally was over for the Finn. He was devastated.
You know, I was not going any faster than before, just normally, you know, and the boys just said they were kilometer before there, and they said just we were about the same time as the others, little slower than the past 2 other cars, but I mean, because I was no reason to attack or anything like that, but just I heard the note wrong, you know, and then just slipped off. Very simple thing.
Armin Schwartz was another driver not to make the overnight halt. First a broken drive shaft failure, then an accident wrecking the car's rear suspension put him out. But Didier Auriol continued, upholding the Toyota honours in 3rd. Behind the Toyotas, Mitsubishi were continuing with their development programme. And it was paying off. Tommy Mäkinen up to 5th. And Andrea Reghini, another driver overcoming a spin to take 7th. Meanwhile, in the Ford camp, Francois Delacour was still pushing as hard as he knew how. It was a gritty, determined drive by the Frenchman, but the machinery was starting to wilt. Delacour's now driving without a clutch. That means smashing the gear lever through from gear to gear and winding the car off the start line on the starter motor.
Yeah, now it's finished for me. I cannot catch Gigi anymore because I have done 2 stages with no clutch. The clutch was broken since the beginning of the first stage, and I lost many seconds.
So Delacour lucky to continue in 6th position. But at the head of the field, it's a Subaru war. Carlos Sainz takes over the lead following Kankkunen's demise, but he's been caught hand over fist by Colin McRae. The young Scot with Derek Ringer on the pace notes is driving an absolute stormer. Meanwhile, Piero Liatti is doing a fine job. He is up to 4th.
I think tomorrow we're obviously back in the same stages as we did in the first day, so I'm at less of a disadvantage. Whether I can be quicker than Carlos, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
And the last thing you need is a fight within your own team if you're going to keep Oriol behind. So our priority is to keep Oriol back and sort of not work together as a team, and that's going to be the instruction.
With only a 5-second deficit, difficult to do that, I would have thought.
They're professional drivers. They would end up going to the RAC rally on equal points, and that must be the sporting decision.
It's a good position from Subaru from the manufacturer's championship point of view, but with Sainz and McRae just 8 seconds apart entering the third and final leg of the rally, anything could happen. Going into the closing stages, first of all, Oriol has a problem with a difference. No way to continue with the restricted visibility, but help is quickly at hand. But it still loses Oriol desperate seconds. Now the Toyota hits transmission problems too. It's a battle right to the finish for the Frenchman. Francois Delacour also is hanging on to survive. Still struggling with the handling on his Escort. He's not particularly happy, but relieved with 5th, ahead of Tommy Mäkinen. He would have been 6th, but he too had a problem. Mäkinen's car goes out of control at 80 miles an hour, hits 2 rescue vehicles, out of the event. But Andrea Reghini survives in his Mitsubishi to claim that 6th place. Then another Mitsubishi, 11th overall, and victory in Group N is sufficient to clinch the World Champions title for the Portuguese Rui Madeira.
Good, thank you. Yes. It was very good. Very good. Very good. Yes, thank you. And you're happy now, eh? Yes, now. That's the last day. Yeah.
But meanwhile, technical scrutiny is revealing serious irregularities with the Toyota team. Oriol's car is set for exclusion, and the team won't be contesting either the Network QRAC Rally or the 1996 World Championship as a result. So it's victory for Sainz, ahead of McRae in the team orders stakes, with Pierre Eliatti making it a 1-2-3 for Subaru in Spain. Delacour moves up to 4th, with Reghini 5th, Trellis in his Toyota in 6th, ahead of Gomez, Navarra, Passas and Postel in the top 10 classification. And Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz enter the Network QRAC Rally, the final round of the championship, dead heat on 70 points each. But in the manufacturer's stakes, it's still Mitsubishi ahead of Subaru by a slender 2 points, going into the final round.